Oh, those horrible Russians, they just try to steal your stuff, right? My name is Andrei Mincov, I'm the founder of Trademark Factory, and in this video I'm going to share my thoughts about yet another trademarking screw-up. This time around, it's the SCP trademark being hijacked by Russian men. Alright, let me read from the article, and you can find the link in the description below. The SCP trademark is under attack. SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. It's also a worldwide collaborative fiction project where anyone is free to create their story within the universe and upload it to the SCP Wiki. Think of it like Wikipedia, but for monsters. Everything is written in a government-like dossier with blacked out text, gruesome photos, and sometimes even audio logs from expeditions into other worlds. There's one catch though. Everything on the SCP Wiki is under the Creative Commons Share Alike 3.0 license. That means once you've published it to the site, anyone else can take your idea and expand upon it, sell merch of it, or even make a movie. But they must attribute the original author, and whatever work they make must also be released under the Creative Commons CC BY SA 3.0 license. 6 months ago, it came to light that a Russian man, Andrei Duksin, took advantage of the trademark standards of the Russian Federal Service for Intellectual Property and trademarked the SCP Foundation name and logo within the Russian Federation and Eurasian Customs Union. Like, I don't know really what they're trying to say in terms of he took advantage of those standards. He just went out and trademarked the goddamn name. Let's keep going. Duksin defended this action, stating he is putting a lot of money into promoting the universe and creating media content, arts, books, tabletop games, etc. I had to make sure no one shifty enough jumps in and profits on the PR I'm making, cause in that case I'm losing the resource to get my own investments back. Duksin goes on to claim that this doesn't matter for the community at all because I've always supported the community's decisions. Duksin revealed he was the trademark owner after a fan-run merch store was kicked off of the Russian social media website VK. And by the way, VK by itself is a copycat from Facebook, which is pretty funny. Fans had posted onto a VK group about a link to the shop being blocked. Duksin writes, as far as I can see, 20 plus people sent their money, at least 30,000 rubles, about $500, as preliminary payment for their merch boxes, and pushes for customers to file a police report for fraud. Later, Duksin reveals that a year ago he paid 100,000 rubles, about $1,400, to register the SCP Foundation trademark and had contacted those guys and offered to coordinate our actions. They told me to fuck off. In turn, I contacted VK.com admins and kicked that group out of VK. Don't tell a Russian man to f off. You may get kicked out of VK. Later, Duksin would openly admit to the SCP-ru, Russian division of the SCP fandom, admins, that he secured the trademark to pursue big-budget films and video games. Around the same time, other fans who managed SCP-based VK groups shared their interactions with Duksin, and you can read their transcripts or view screenshots from VK, the link that you can check out in the article. Now this brings us to today. Duxin is now threatening to shut down the scp-ru website. For the last 6 months, US and Russian SCP admins have tried to negotiate and work with Rose Patent to dissolve the illegitimate trademark to no avail. This has to lead the US admin team to seek legal action, and they require help. You can support the SCP fandom by spreading the message with Stand With SCP-RU or by donating to the legal fund. All right, so that's the situation. Now, I want to go back to the Russian men taking advantage of the situation. Now, what most people in Canada and US don't realize is that the majority of the world outside of North America does not recognize unregistered trademarks. They don't care how long you've been running a business under a certain brand unless you trademark it. In those countries, which are the majority of the countries in the world, the person who first runs to the trademarks office and files their trademark application wins. Wow. They are the ones who have the legal right to the brand. And unless you can prove that you're a famous brand that has been hijacked, which is an extremely difficult standard, extremely high burden, unless you can prove that, there's really nothing you can do. And proving that you have a famous brand is going to cost you an arm and a leg. I remember when I was still working for a big law firm in Russia, one of the biggest cases our firm handled was Starbucks. So somebody else hijacked their brand and got their trademark. And so for years and years and years and years, the real Starbucks could not do anything. They couldn't come to Russia and open their stores because somebody else owned the trademark, right? It wasn't about them opening stores under a different brand. They wanted to come in to Russia as Starbucks, and somebody else blocked that name by trademarking it, and they said, you can't come and open your restaurants because the moment you do, we will sue you. And our law firm made a lot of money in legal fees, going to court and trying to prove to the trademarks office that they are famous enough brand for the trademark to be dissolved and canceled so that Starbucks could eventually come to Russia. It took years. As far as I remember, it took about 7 years. If my memory serves me right, it was about 7 years. And like I said, we billed a lot in legal fees. But even aside from Starbucks wasting a lot of money on lawyers, their biggest problem was that they wasted 7 years of not being able to come to Russia and sell their coffee. And so it's not about Russia, it's about every other country that does not recognize unregistered trademarks, that does not recognize what's called common law trademarks. And that's what they're dealing with now, because what they had to do, right? I understand it's community driven. I understand you want to have the optics that nobody owns it. It's all communism, and it's all owned by the community, right? Isn't it funny, right? You wanted to have you wanted to have a piece of communism when nobody owns it, and you're dealing with somebody from the ex-communist country hijacking your brand. So anyway, you wanted to have those optics of nobody owns it. Well, it doesn't work, because when nobody owns it, there's always going to be somebody who's going to want to take advantage of that. But they're not taking advantage of the Russian laws. They're taking advantage of you guys not being thoughtful enough to get that trademark registered in in the name of the foundation or in the name of some entity that would control the use. Now, there's a huge difference between nobody owning the trademark and nobody actively enforcing the trademark and nobody actively stopping people from using the trademark. There's a big difference. When nobody owns the trademark, anybody can come in and claim the brand as theirs. And now they can be as mean as they want and they can do whatever they want to stop you and try to prevent you from using the brand, and they'd be able to, you know, take advantage of whatever rights they're going to have through that trademark registration. Now compare that with somebody owning that brand, somebody who is one of the originators of the game. Let's say they built a foundation and that foundation owned the brand. Now they can say, hey, we own it, but everyone who plays the game can legally use the brand and do whatever you want with it under the Creative Commons, and we will give you the license to use the brand. No problem, you can use it. We own it, you can use it, right? That's the beauty of intellectual property, because as I've always said, it's never about the money, or it's not always about the money, it's about control, right? Who controls it can decide how others can use it, whether they want others to use it at all, and if yes, under what conditions. So for example, you know, Disney doesn't want their intellectual property used by others without their permission, right? So unless you have a licensing deal with them, you can't use their stuff, plain and simple. Somebody else can use the brand because they're allowing you to. And so that's what SCP could have done. They didn't, and now they're reaping what they've sown by not being proactive enough to protect their brand early on. And now they're trying to find the money to sue this Russian man. And I would say it's not a clear-cut case. So we'll see where this goes. It's unfortunate, but really the solution is, even if you're trying to build a free game for everyone to use and enjoy, you still want to own the brand. There's a valuable asset in that brand, and you don't want that asset to find itself in the wrong set of hands. That's how it works. That's what you should do. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please subscribe. We see subscribers as, you know, one of the metrics for what drives me to create these videos. Like it, comment, and if you've got a brand that you want to protect, whether you want to give it away or whether you want to police it and stop everyone else from ripping you off, you got to get it trademarked. So go to trademarkfactory.com and book your free call with one of our strategy advisors. And until then, I will see you in the next video.